Most Paw Patrol fans know about Paw Patrol the movie, which dropped in 2021, as well as Mighty Pups, a TV movie from 2019, but I bet barely anyone knows of 2017's cinema-exclusive Mission Big Screen. Hi there everyone, and welcome. Today we're gonna be talking about Paw Patrol's Mission Big Screen, the true first theatrical movie. The storyline is that there's no screen too big and no pup too small in this Possum cinema experience. Join Ryder, Chase, Marshall, Sky, and the rest of the Paw Patrol as they embark on adventures in Adventure Bay and beyond. It's pretty basic. I want to point out that apparently in Canada, it's called Paw Patrol the movie, but we all know about the Paw Patrol movie with the same name. Did Canada get a different version than everywhere else? Anywho, let's look at these characters. There are some things that are a bit out of the ordinary. There's Sylvia, a character who was only in Pup Save a Herd. Then in the full cast page, there are characters Chase's mom and Chase's dad, which are likely the parents of Chase. And then there are these new characters, Mindy, Aid, Yellow, and Pringles. Another thing that's odd is that it lists Chase's UK voice as Chase, although all the other casts are from the North American version. And Alex Torn, Zuma's first cast, is listed as his usual role, but he wasn't playing Zuma at the time as all the other Paw Patrol members' voices were. Despite my research, there's no explanation to these peculiar things, so let's see the new characters' voices. Mindy is voiced by Opie Ragunduro, who voiced Lloyd Orangeborg in Wreck-It Ralph. Sylvia's voice, which would be the first voice she has, as she didn't talk in her only appearance, is Judy Birdie, who also voices Nola in Whisker Haven and Jody in Puppy Dog Pals. Aid is voiced by Blackie Rose, who worked mostly in Alpha and Omega content as the characters King, Gart, and Floyd. Chase's mom is Cindy Robinson, who does a lot of voiceover work for video games, most notably Amy from Sonic the Hedgehog, and she voices Marge and Eve in Alpha and Omega. Then Chase's dad's voice is Paul Nakuchuki, who you might know for his role as Hanzo in Overwatch's English dub, but he's also the voice of Hutch from Alpha and Omega. Don't worry, you're not the only one seeing this. Finally, we have John Eric Bentley, who is the voice of Yellow. He's been in a lot of things, from a character in a Naruto spin-off to Goon 2 in a Batman game, to even the president in a Disney Channel sitcom, and even Winston from the Alpha and Omega franchise. Yep, so there's a clear trend here with voices from Alpha and Omega. Remember this info because it will be useful later on. In the trivia, it lists this movie as the first time the Paw Patrol is animated in Flash. If you don't know, Flash animation is significantly used to create character animation for entertainment, education, business, and presentation, as darvideo.tv says. Only 2D animation can be created in this versus Paw Patrol's usual CGI animation. In the soundtrack, we have a handful of songs. We Are a Perfect Team, Good Pilot, No Show, Everyone Wants to Be a Wolf, My Lonely Tailman, and lastly, We Are a Perfect Team reprise. In song Good Pilot, No Show, Sky might be the good pilot who could have been about to perform a show. Since it's sung by Sweetie, she could have sabotaged Sky in her greed to be queen. My Lonely Tailman might indicate Rocky was separated by the main group, as Rocky's voice was listed as the person singing it. Now, onto the quotes. We have America Dway saying, "Just make sure Yellow has a place to sleep tonight and eat the stars." Then Tracker says, "Are you loco?" Then Sylvia says, "We must go to the forbidden." Then Sweetie says, "The cold never bothered me anyway, but it will for these 8. Sweetie's quote may refer to the main 8, and that they, herself, and possibly the humans have nowhere to stay in cold conditions. Mercadway's quote could possibly follow this theory up if Yellow is a part of this group, but all this was fake. Kinda. Turns out the IMDb page was vandalized. Why do I think so? Well, first of all, the picture of Sylvia is made by an artist and fellow YouTuber, Kreza. AIDS photo was made by Attack Pack on the PAW Patrol Fanon Wiki. Speaking of, all of the new characters are on the Fanon Wiki, and they were made before or during 2017. If you go on to the IMDb page for Obi Daguerando, Mindy's cast, she apparently voiced a character called Corona Cornflower in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. But if you search that character, she's made by a DeviantArt user. But what about all the cast from Alpha and Omega earlier, you ask? I think this implies that the person who edited the page is a fan of Alpha and Omega. So what is all this really? It's actually not a movie, but still a cinema special event. It was only available in the UK, and it went on not only once but twice. The first time it was a sneak peek of Mission Paw, and the second time the first episode of the Sea Patrol sub-series was shown. In between, there were presumably normal episodes shown, so it would last an hour long, similar to the Peppa Pig theater experience, at least from what the reviews say. So yeah, it's a real thing, just not what the IMDb pages say. And also, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and watch this one about the times when Disney copied PAW Patrol, and I'll see you next time.